Hey everybody, Hazmat here, and it's summertime, and what do people do in the summertime? They go to the beach. I don't know, depends on, I guess, where you live. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But either way, there is a certain beach place that my family goes to in the summer. And just thinking about that now, I thought of a couple interesting stories, mainly just one interesting story that I'm going to share with you guys today. We have payday footage in the background because we always do. I don't know, there's no real reason for it, it just kind of exists. Also, because, I don't do this very often, I just want to tell everybody, please like and subscribe. It's nice. I don't like asking for it in the beginning of the video because I feel like it's intrusive. I do it at the end. I mean, if you make it all the way to the end of the video, I kind of deserve the like at that point, just saying. But, alright, just keep it in mind. Either way, to set the scene for this place, it's essentially just a big beach. It's not huge. It's got like a bunch of like little cabins and crap alongside of it. They're more or less just like these trailer things that they've put on like cinder blocks, and they kind of just fuel them with like big propane tanks, if you know what one of those looks like. So there's just a whole bunch of them along, the beach, and there's some like restaurants and whatever, and it's pretty cool. There's some stores and stuff. Overall, you just kind of go there, you screw around, you build a sandcastle or two if you feel like it, of course, and you go on with your life. However, there was one particular thing that this place had that both me and my brother really liked. They had this games shack where essentially they had like a foosball table and like a ping pong table. But, the shining jewel, the diamond in the rough of all this sand was they had an Xbox. I don't know if it was a 360 or an Xbox One. I'm going to assume it was probably an Xbox One. But they also had a PS4, which was pretty sick. So you could go there and you could play like UFC or Injustice if you wanted to, play on the Xbox. Pretty much the only two games people played were UFC and Injustice. They're not even like amazing games or anything. Although, to be fair, Injustice gotta be like my favorite fighting game of all time. Probably like the only fighting game that I've really played. So that doesn't feel like a proper category. But either way, the place would actually hold tournaments for these games, and the thing that was nice about this was the games were old enough to where even if people had been like playing them and whatever, they hadn't played them in a while. Now, granted, I mean, if some kid's been grinding UFC for like the past 7 years of his life, he's probably gonna still be pretty good at like UFC like 16 versus UFC like 20 or whatever it happens to be at the time. But either way, nobody was particularly good at any of the games, at least not while I was there. So the tournaments were pretty evenly matched. You just kind of go down there, you'd play the games for a little while. If they had a tournament, you'd go, yeah, you know what, fine, I'll do it. We'll do a little tournament here. My brother was pretty good at them, partially because he found one of the characters in Injustice that had this move. I think it was Scarecrow, and I forget which move it was, but essentially you could do the same move over and over again really, really quickly. And the thing was, he could spam the inputs to the point where the other person couldn't counterattack or do anything like that. Now, I don't know what the Injustice Pro scene even looks like, if there even is one. I know there's a second game at this point. I think we were playing the first one. Might have been the second one. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, he would just kind of spam that one attack and like win literally every single tournament because nobody could find a way to counter it. That's not really what this is about, but, that's just an interesting anecdote, I guess. But yeah, so on to the tournaments. So the tournaments were set up by age brackets, which, I mean, makes sense. Older kids are going to have more experience playing video games, whatever. If they're playing with an 8-year-old versus a 13-year-old, 13-year-old's probably going to win. So I want to say at the time, I think my brother was in, I believe it was like the 9 to 12 bracket, and I think I had just turned 13. Well, not just turned, but, it'd been a while. Anyway, I didn't like going to the tournaments myself, and neither did he, because we didn't really know anybody else there. And, you know, we were there to play video games, not be social, so we'd rather just talk to each other and try to beat some kids at video games. However, we weren't in the same age bracket this summer, so I was like, you know what, I'll just say I'm 12, and, you know, I'll just go to this tournament, whatever. Shouldn't be that big a deal, because I don't play this game at home. I'm not particularly good at it. And I wasn't. I think the best I'd ever done at one of those tournaments was, I think I got to like the semifinals or something, which wasn't bad considering the tournaments could sometimes reach like, you know, 20 people. I mean, normally it was closer to like 10 to 15. So in that case, not as impressive, but still, you know, semifinals of 20 people. I mean, top 4, it's not bad. It's not really amazing, but it's not bad. But either way, so some of the kids were on the younger side, because like I said, I think it was 9 to 12, but I want to say there had to be a couple kids there that didn't hit the 9 age limit. I could be wrong on this. I feel like at that age, some kids can look, you know, either 4 or, you know, 40, really, whichever. But there was this one guy there, a dad of one of the kids, I'd assume. I don't think he was just hanging out there, that took notice of me and realized, hey, this kid looks a little older than he realistically should be. And I was, in all fairness, but I was only 1 year older. It wasn't like that big a deal, and I didn't end up winning anyway, so it's not like I really shook anything up. However, this guy, when I went to play, walks over to me and goes, "You don't look like you belong here." And I was like, oh crap, I've been found out. I was like, well, yeah, I guess, but, you know, whatever. So I just tried to play it cool and be like, what do you mean by that? And the guy was like, I don't think you're young enough to play in this. I think you're too old. And at this point, I was getting a little nervous, because mind you, I'm a 13-year-old kid. Having a grown-ass man come up and confront me is, I mean, nerve-wracking to say the least. It's not a pleasant experience. So I'm like kind of shaking a bit at this point, going, oh crap, what the hell am I going to do? I mean, I'm old enough to realize I'm not getting the cops called on me or something, but I hope this guy doesn't make a scene, because that just gets awkward for everybody. So I'm kind of sitting there and whatever. He doesn't really make any more comments, so I'm like, okay, I assume it's over and whatever. I finished the first round. I beat the guy, and the guy comes over to me again and goes, "You like bullying little kids, don't you?" And I was like, where the hell is this coming from? Where is this misplaced anger coming from? And now I didn't know which kid was his or whatever, and now it's fully possible this dude was just lurking around being weird. Honestly, I suspect not. But it just kind of irked me, and it actually aggravated me that this guy was like singling me out specifically. I was like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? But either way, I'm watching my brother play. He creams the guy, obviously, because he just cheeses it the whole time. And so, you know, we continue to play, get to the second round. I don't really remember what this guy said to me in the second round. I think it was just more of the same. I honestly don't remember anything specific. Probably just more, do you like bullying kids? Blah, blah, blah. You know, harassing a 13-year-old as a grown-ass man. Good for you, guy. I don't know what you're getting out of that, but I hope it made you happy. Either way, I happened to get out in that round, and, you know, I was just kind of done. And also what's done is our gameplay footage. Cut to some new footage. Find some footage on the hard drive. Put it here, okay? After that, the guy didn't really bother me because I was out. You know, it wasn't that big of a deal to me, but it did kind of peeve me how that guy had been, you know, harassing me and whatever. I also got a couple nice glares from him as I left, but other than that, he really didn't do anything else. So that's all I got for today. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you got to this point in the video, you know, just like, subscribe if you want to. But as I said, this is all I got. Hazmat out.